Hello, wow, you're up really high. Hello, welcome. I am glad you're here. We are going to do a reading vlog. I was updating my reading journal and realized that I just keep adding to my series. Here's my very high-tech and sad-looking series tracker. And so I thought, let's do a reading vlog where I start a series, continue a series, and finish a series, because I actually have a few that I could finish. Now, if you saw my March TBR, this would be a finish. Two Twisted Crowns. It's only a duology. The One Dark Window is the first one. I don't know what the series is called. But no, this is not going to be involved. I had the audiobook, but it was returned to Libby, and I can't get it for several weeks. So I know I could actually just try and sit and read it, which I might. I did really enjoy the book, but no, not Two Twisted Crowns. That will not be the one that gets finished. The one that's going to get finished, The Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy. This is As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. I actually started this several days ago, and I kept getting interrupted and had other things to do and whatever. I was listening to it, but the audiobook is due soon, so I figured I would try it, and I didn't really like it. Like, the first couple chapters, I was not too into it. It took that was in 3 different reading or listening spells, and I was like, am I just gonna not read it? So today, I decided to get some housework done while I was listening to it. I also sat and read along with it for a while. I am now 1/3, well, almost. I'm like 31%, close enough. And it's back. It's back to the way it's supposed to be. So this will be the book the series that I finish. And I need to do it in the next 2 days, because it's actually due at about this time in 2 days. So I keep saying as good as it gets. So As Good as Dead, in case I said that wrong. Now, if you've watched my channel for a while, you might know that I have been looking for a book and that I've been wanting to buy book 2 in a series. Also one that I listened to, but I wanted to get the paperback and not the hardbound. Book 1 is The Tainted Cup, which I read last year, and I absolutely loved this book. I thought it was really well written, and I really want to read the second book soon while I can still remember, I think I still remember what happened and who was who and all of that. Plus book 3, I should have looked that up. I'll put the date up when the book 3 is coming out. Book 2 is A Drop of Corruption, and I really want to read it, but I haven't bought it yet. So not that one. Shadow of the Leviathan is the name of the series. Now, last month I thoroughly enjoyed book 1 of The Inheritance Games, which I think is the name of the series. But I need book 2. I did go shopping for book 2, but I didn't find it. I was looking at used stores, at a used bookstore. It will not be Inheritance Games. Continuing the series will be, drumroll please, Scythe. I read Scythe back in October, and I loved it. I thought the book itself was very readable. So I enjoyed sitting there reading it as I was going along, but I also had my puzzle out and had CD. I listened to it on CDs. So my boombox is still sitting out from Harriet the Spy several months ago, and I thought, you know what, why not get it on CD just in case? So my book series that I'm going to continue, Arc of a Scythe, I can't wait. I'm really excited about this. I've been wanting to read it for a while. Maybe book 3 will be in October. I may or may not do the CD. Start a series. So this was finish. This is continue. I need to start a series. Now, this month's TBR, April's TBR, I put on Wake, which is a young adult novel about a girl. I haven't said what any of these are about. Do you want me to? Let me know either way if you want me to do more descriptions or not. I keep trying to remember, but I don't always. I feel like by the time we get to some of these, everybody knows them already, but not everybody does. In Wake, there's a girl, I think she's 17 years old, Janie. She gets sucked into other people's dreams. Things like stepping off of a curb. I mean, actually, she lives those experiences that other people are dreaming, and she's really tired of it. And it just sounds interesting to me, and it looks like it'll be a quick read. And this is on my monthly TBR. So, of course, it's not this one. So 4 other possibilities, but no, I'm not picking any of those. I'm picking a book that you have seen a couple of times. See if you can figure it out. I have no idea if it's a duology or if it's a trilogy or more, but I think it's just 2. I think it's a duology. I don't know, but the second book did just come out. So pause the video and put your guesses in what you think it is. Now, this is also a book that I have on audio, but I have it on my Hoopla, which barely works sometimes. And this is also one of those. I did try it to see if it would work, and it kind of works. I am definitely going to listen to it. I will read along. I started it honestly close to 2 weeks ago, probably. But I will restart it. Book 1, finally, The Rose Bargain. I think it's a perfect book for spring. This is Start a Series. So what is it about? It's kind of a Regency era. It's not really, because it's after Regency, because I think it's 1840s. But it's Regency-esque. It's the season, which is when young debutantes want to find somebody to get married. Only there's a fairy that's queen. You can go up to the fairy and ask for a wish to be granted, but it costs you something. And I'm guessing that the simpler the request, the less the cost. I don't know yet. And it could be things like a pinky, or it could be something more than the wish is granted and you get married and you live happily ever after or something. I don't know. But I'm really looking forward to it. I love Regency. I really loved Half a Soul series, which was magic and Regency together. So I'm really looking forward to it. Thunderhead, I don't actually know anything about it. I think I heard this is a prequel, but I don't know. What I can tell you about Scythe is that it's supposed to be a perfect future. That's what Neil Schusterman had said. What if it's a future where everything went right and everything's perfect now, but now people don't die, so they actually have to have people become a scythe and unalive people. In book 1, there are 2 trainees, and I don't quite remember how it ended. I'm sure I will get that once I get started. I think I do, but I'm not sure. Book 3 in Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I can't really tell you much. In book 1, as a senior project, Pip she wants to prove that the guy accused of a murder that happened 5 years ago, he wasn't the bad guy. In the second book, she's kind of dealing with the repercussions of that. I don't want to say anything else. And if it's been a long time since you've read book 1 and you want to move on to book 2, it recaps extensively. This one doesn't recap as much. She's kind of traumatized in this one. And the reason I didn't really like it is because of what she's doing about that. The way she's dealing with the trauma is why I didn't really like this. Her solution for getting past the trauma was to delve into a cold case. It's getting back to the way the book 1 and 2 were. So I'm really enjoying it so far. I am, however, going to go and do some errands. And hopefully afterwards I will have another phone that I can listen to and tandem read, because I really want to do that. And so I can put you guys on a different phone and I can listen to that phone. So there we go. We'll start a series, continue a series, and finish a series. And then maybe I'll do another one where I can start a series, continue a series, finish a series. That would be great. So I've been listening to As Good as Dead, 3rd book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. Late last night, I think that I got to the 50% mark and I was ready to just stop. I really had lost interest in it. I didn't like the direction it was going. I thought this was ridiculous. So I double checked on Goodreads and it has really good ratings. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's give it a try. I don't like the direction that it's been going in, but it's very well done in that direction. So I somehow hurt my back. I'm going to sit here with the heating pad on my back. I figured I've got about 40 minutes to maybe an hour left of the book. I thought I'd bring you along. Okay, I'm settled. The heat is on. Let's read. Let's finish the series. So it has actually been several days. That was Friday night that I finished As Good as Dead, and it is now Tuesday morning. I think it's still morning. My thoughts. I really liked it. I did really like it. I didn't really like the direction at the 50% mark, but Holly Jackson did it really well. Once I kind of got over myself, my issues with it, and I just went with it, I just couldn't put it down. I could not stop listening, really. I listened to it. I don't know how I would rank the three. I still like the first book best. I think the second book and this one may be tied for second place, or this is ever so slightly below that in the ranking, but very enjoyable, very bingeable. I guess I'm resting on a 4. I kind of fully haven't decided, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 4. And that's As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. Now, because it has been 4 days, I am reading The Rose Bargain. Now, I told you before, I believe, it's been a while, that I had started this a couple weeks ago, now probably closer to 3 weeks ago. The next morning after finishing this, I sat down and reread those 3 chapters that I had read, and I kind of just kept going. I've been doing a little mix of the audiobook, which is difficult, and for some reason won't connect in my house. So I might get a chapter and then it'll turn off, and then I sit down and I read a chapter. I'm enjoying this. It's technically not Regency, but it's close enough. There is a queen in England. Society girls, before they can be presented to society, have to present themselves to her. They make a bargain. Everybody can make a bargain. They can make one bargain. You don't have to make one, except these girls do. They have to make one before they get presented. So the bargains can be things, and they're almost always things like nicer hair, better singing voice. The queen expects a price because it's a bargain. Sometimes it's a missing finger, sometimes it's a missing toe, a loss of a sense of smell or a taste, stuff like that. So the book starts off with how she became queen, and her name is Morian, but mostly she's called Queen Mor. We are following Ivy. Ivy is our main character here, and she is 17, 18. She's about to be presented to the queen. Her family has been ostracized because her sister Lydia, who's 2 years older, was presented to the queen, and when she emerged, she didn't seem like she had made a bargain, and she didn't get a match, basically. Then she disappeared for 8 days, and the family got ostracized by that. And so now Ivy is showing up to present herself to the queen on a particular day where they all have to be there. Everybody's like whispering, I didn't think she would get invited, that kind of thing. There's a prince, he's sort of the rake. His name is Emmett. He's human. He's not the biological son to the queen, but to her consort husband. But she also has her biological son, Bram, who is going to marry one of these girls. So there's a special situation. So it kind of gives Selection vibes, if you've read that. I'm getting a lot of flashbacks to that. I'm really enjoying it. I would say about 40%. So I'm going to sit and read for a little bit, and then I'm going to try the audiobook again and try and get some stuff done. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you. There are a couple little things that have pulled me out of the story, and you know, I might save that for later. We'll talk about that later. I'm on chapter 17. I've got my water. I've got my blanket. I'm on chapter 20, but there were also a couple of chapters of character chapters where we learn more about the different girls that are in this competition. Looks like I'm about halfway now. I'm going to put in the audiobook and I'm going to continue on. I'm actually really hoping to finish this today. It's early enough. I should be able to if my audiobook will work. If not, I enjoy sitting here reading. I'm enjoying the book. I am getting such Selection vibes though. Like there's a scene that I was just in that I was picturing the same room that I was picturing in Selections. I'll check in with you probably when I finish. Good morning. It's early, so if I look tired, it's because I am. I got up early to finish The Rose Bargain, Sasha Payton Smith, and I could have finished it last night, but my husband and I are watching Game of Thrones. We are almost done with season 4, I think, and so we are binge watching that. And so it was a late night-ish, late for me. I don't know how Gabby does it on Gabby Reads, but she's also a very fast reader. But anyway, I have my tea because I need my caffeine. We're going to talk about The Rose Bargain. I am so mixed. I absolutely loved the story, but I loved the selection. And this is very much like the selection, but set in a Regency-esque era. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I just had a lot of issues. Any one of these by itself is completely nitpicking and is, an error here or there is fine. There were so many errors in this book. To start with, I'm assuming that it's our world. It takes place in our London, England, in this world that we live in. It just happens to have fairies because there isn't anything else that makes it seem like it is another world, right? So there's no other influences in the world that have been created because there are fairies in the world. That's my take on it. Because it's very much our world. So there were a few things that just really kind of bugged me, and I swear they were every 30 or 40, maybe 50 pages, there would be something that just didn't belong. But little things like, there was one in the beginning where I think it's something like hyperventilate. No, not in 1848. They wouldn't have said hyperventilate. I don't remember if that was the exact phrasing, but whatever it was, that's not what they would have said. Oh, there was a scene where there's like an inn, a very small inn in a very small town, very rural, and it has a full ensuite bathroom. So lots of little things like that just, again, individually, they wouldn't have mattered, but because there were so many of them. And one of the things I've come across so many times with authors don't seem to know that the moon is also up in the daytime. Again, it's all being very nitpicky on my part, but because there was so many things, and there's an actual blooper. There's an actual blooper where, so the scene is, and I'm going to try and do it without giving anything away. They're going, the girls are going into, the debutantes, we'll say. They go into the parlor and they each have a station that they're supposed to go to. And one girl goes to 2 stations at the same time because they put the wrong name in. So again, all of this is just so nitpicky. But some of the things that I really did like, which also would not have been in the time place, was that it was multicultural. There were different ethnicities in these girls, and I really appreciated that. But I think that's a positive. I'm getting toasty. I put my sweatshirt on because it was so cold, but I just closed the window and now I'm getting toasty. So lots of things like that, but I loved the story. The ending was a little obvious for me. I mean, it had nothing else that it could do, especially since it was going to be it's at least a duology, right? I don't know if there's going to be a third one. So I'm really torn about how I want to rate this. If I read the revised edition, probably a 4.5. It's a good story, but I didn't. I got this one. I don't know how to rate this. I think I'm going to land on a 3.5. I would recommend it. I did really like it, so maybe 3.6. I don't know. I just don't know. The Thorn Queen comes out on April 14th. And right now I'm not planning on reading it, but I did enter into the Goodreads giveaway for the book, so if I got the book, I would definitely read it. But I don't know that I'm going to continue with this series. Normally when people are reviewing books that I know I'm going to read, I don't listen to the reviews. So I might go back and see if I can find some reviews and see what people said about this. I knew that it had a high star rating and that people really liked it. But other than the individual criticisms, I didn't hear any of that. In order for me to read The Thorn Queen, I would have to listen to the reviews and see what people are saying. So that if everybody says that it's perfection, then maybe I'll read it. We'll see. I am already nearly halfway through Thunderhead because I don't read books one at a time. But I am going to cut to earlier me where I introduced it and talk about it first. And then we'll come back and talk about it where I am now. And I'm going to have some tea in the meantime. But I thought I would catch up with you. It's Monday morning, and I typically read more than one book at a time, and that's holding true. I'm actually reading Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman, which is book 2 in the Scythe series. I'm barely into it, but I listened to this. I'm doing it through CDs while I'm doing this puzzle that I started yesterday on Easter. I saved it for Easter because it's candy. I thought that was kind of cute. But I thought I would come in and I was going to tell you about this, but I can't really tell you much about it without revealing anything in book 1, Scythe. But to say that we are continuing to follow Citra and Rowan, I'm enjoying it. It took me a little while to remember. I know how the overall part, but like the individual names, it took me a while to get back into it. Not too long, obviously, because I am page 61, so not far at all. But I am enjoying it. This is a book that's easy for me to, well, the first book was easy for me to read, but I haven't done that yet because I've been working on the puzzle. Yeah, I wish there was more that I could say about it, but there's almost nothing I can tell you about this without revealing book 1. Oh, the Thunderhead. I can tell you what the Thunderhead is. The Thunderhead is what we would call the Cloud, only bigger, better, all-powerful. At the end, I guess it's technically at the end of a chapter, we get these little things that are basically the Thunderhead's point of view of things. So he's sort of talking to us. Yeah, I'm going to go and continue. I've got some time right now. I'm going to keep listening. We're back. I have been reading Thunderhead, sitting here mostly doing the puzzle. Okay, first off, it is not a prequel. I don't know where. I definitely heard another booktuber. It's misinformation that I helped spread, so I want to stop that. It is definitely continuing the story. We do follow Citra and Rowan a little bit. Again, I'm probably 45% of the way, so I don't know how much they're going to be in the second half. I'm guessing more, but mostly we seem to be following this character Grayson and Tiger. Is that what his name is? Rowan's friend, the goofball friend from the first book. It seems to be following them more than Citra and Rowan. So I'm really torn. I went and checked the Goodreads rating, and it has basically a 4.4, but I don't care. I just don't care about Grayson. I don't care about Tiger. You would think because I was ready to DNF As Good as Dead at about the 50% mark, just like this, and I saw that it had a really good rating, which was only a 4.2, you would think that I would want to keep going. This has a 4.4. I even read the first line of the synopsis for book 3, and that's intriguing. I really just don't care. So I am going to DNF. Now, if you've read this and you say, no, because at 50% mark, we get rid of Grayson, we don't care about Tiger, or what happens to them is suddenly interesting, then let me know. Because again, it has a high rating. So yeah, I'm going to DNF this. It's been an interesting read. I gotta get my tea out of the way. I started a series that I may not continue. I'm continuing a series that I may not continue. But I did finish a series. And so I'm really happy with that. I really enjoyed that I had like a thriller, a dystopian, and a romance, a historical romance. And they're all good books in their own way. See, I just don't know what to rate The Rose Bargain. Yeah, I gotta think about that one. I have no idea what I'm gonna rate that. But anyway, it was enjoyable. Thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.